Right. You'd like to just sign it at the bottom. Great. You go over there. Thanks. Okay. Ruth Adams? Any history of heart disease?
No.
TB?
No.
Hepatitis? Kidney failure?
No. Everyone knew, didn't they? Everyone. They must have thought I was such an idiot.
No one thought that.
Funny combination, aren't you? Genius and shit. I've been used, haven't I?
This isn't the time, Helen. Come on, I'll get you a cab.
I'm all right. I can handle it. Dzień nie proszę, da się Bóg.
Fantastic. Where's the birthday girl then?
Sitting with...
Oh.
Do you think?
Good old M&S.
Dad?
Happy birthday, darling Louise. There you go. Happy birthday, darling. Hi, Daddy. Say hello to Daddy. Happy birthday, Louise. Hi, Daddy. Right, you like some Daddy? Daddy? All right, hold on. I'm just going to tell you in a minute. Hold on.
You look so young.
I was.
How are you?
Mum looked great. She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Dad, you remember when she first got ill? What did you think?
What sort of question is that?
I mean, when you knew she had Huntington's disease. Once you knew what would happen.
We talked about it. About what we would do when it got bad. How it would affect you too.
What if you'd known before? You got married. Had us.
Is this about the test?
It's crazy, isn't it? I've known for years I could take it when I was 18, and now I am. I don't know if I can face finding out.
There's no hurry.
Sometimes I worry I'll forget what she looked like. Is that terrible?
Of course not.
Mel, you shouldn't have.
I very nearly didn't. I almost went over the drive. Did you get it all done?
Yep. 250 of Cambridge's finest now have zero chance of catching malaria. Come on.
Ta-da!
Happy birthday, Liz. Things I shouldn't do, according to this family. How's college?
His name's George.
Zoe.
George.
You're not going to answer that.
No, I am not. Yep.
He said he'd taken the evening off.
When has he ever taken the evening off?
Right, yeah. Oh, right.
He's not going to cancel our meal.
No, I spent all day making it.
I'm only down for a few days.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Sorry.
You'd have missed your own birth if work got in the way.
Back as quick as I can.
Important?
Yes, one of the students on the trial's been found dead in the river.
Well, at least she didn't die of malaria, sir.
She can't be more than 25.
24, apparently. Amazing skin.
Charles.
Purely professional interest. So, she was on the trial.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
And I guess this might be your thing.
It's the mark where the vaccine went in case of adverse reactions.
Well, I'd call this pretty adverse. Only kidding. Looks like she drowned. Well, she's pissed as a newt as well. Probably got drunk and fell in. It happens all the time.
Poor thing.
Don't like to ask this, but, you did check the vaccine for reactions to alcohol, didn't you?
Yeah, we ran the usual toxicity tests, of course.
What about heroin? Coke? Amphetamines?
What are you getting at, Charles?
Found in her handbag. Need to check it, of course, but I take a bet it wasn't for diabetes.
She OD'd.
It's difficult to say right now. Perhaps. Perhaps not.
Are you suggesting this has got something to do with the vaccine?
Has to be a possibility. But only a possibility. And she could have been on a placebo, right?
And if she wasn't?
Cross that one later. Right now, I need to find out how Madam got her highs.
She might have had the placebo.
And if she's on the active vaccine?
Could still be a coincidence.
Or a side effect?
3 years of animal trials, Sam. We checked everything.
A human's not a monkey.
And one death isn't a statistic.
You really think that's how Fairfax will see it? He'll just see 250 human time bombs waiting to go off on his first day.
You haven't even met the man yet. You've no idea what he's like.
All heads of labs are the same.
Why do you automatically assume that everyone in authority has it in for you?
When you've spent as much time as I have pulling knives out of your back, you learn to grow suspicious. Right, Helen Morris, here we go. Morris, HM, postdoc in neurochemistry. Start a trial on the 6th, dosage active.
Jarvis, start at 19.5.
Is that okay? Are you all right, Ian?
Who are you?
It's Liz. And this is Dr. Feedler. He's going to see if he can help you. Will he feel anything?
Not at all. There are no nerve receptors in the brain. And the local's just for where the probe goes in.
We're all set.
Liz, don't get your hopes up. Remember what I told you. This is still very experimental work.
I know.
There are no guarantees. If the stroke damaged the cortex too much, then the memory may be lost permanently.
But it could still be there.
Well, that's why we're here. I don't know this. What are you doing to me? I don't understand. You all right, Ian? Yeah. Good. Can you feel that? No. Good. I'm just going to make a small incision, and this won't hurt, I promise. Good. Now, I'm going to make a small opening for the probe. Scanner relay.
Scanner relay.
Got a hangover the size of Ethiopia. Well, it hasn't started, has it?
Haven't you heard?
Heard what?
About Helen.
What do you mean? What's happened?
Listen, Jeff, I've got some bad news. Everybody ready?
I can't believe you're just carrying on!
Okay, we're in. There's no response at 3.5. Moving to 3.6. Enhance the resolution, please.
Onions. Taste onions.
What's happening?
As the probe passes certain neurons, it stimulates them. In this case, it's the area concerned with taste. It's perfectly normal.
Lights everywhere. You can see lights.
Well, that's the visual cortex. Almost there. Moving to 3.7. And lock. Lock. Okay, Liz, you ready? Fire away.
Ian? Are you all right?
Again?
It's me, Liz.
Liz.
Keep talking to it. We're getting this.
Clear as a bell, mostly hippocampus.
Liz.
Darling, you know who I am.
Yes, I do. You're my wife.
All I'm saying is maybe we should put things on hold for a while.
Yeah, I agree. Find out what went wrong. We don't know that anything did go wrong.
Helen is dead, Gus.
That's got nothing to do with us.
Sure.
So you want to back out?
I didn't say that.
That's going to do Helen in.
Okay, let's not lose it. Remember what we're trying to do here. If we did make some mistakes, we've got to use them, learn from them. There's no point panicking. We've got to stick together and move on.
Together. What's all this together? I'm the one with his neck on the line.
That's right, Jeff. But if you want to bow out now, just say so. Nobody will blame you. That goes for all of us. Anyone wants out, now's the time. Okay. So let's get down to it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be there. Hi, I'm Dr. Bliss. Pathologist sent for me.
You can just go straight on that then.
Great, thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Thought you'd want to know first thing. Hanged himself from one of the bell ropes. It could be a coincidence. It could have been on the placebo.
You got a name?
No. No wallet, no ID, nothing. He left a note of some sign.
What did he say?
Not much. Just he couldn't stand the guilt. Some stuff about infection, pollution. The rest of it was in Russian.
Russian?
Police are looking for a translator.
You taking blood samples? Huh?
Sam? No, I can't release that sort of thing.
Look, it may be something to do with the vaccine. I'm going to have to run my own test. How many more people do we have to wait for to die?
You're not still going through the animal trial stuff?
Mel, can you come in? Shut the door.
It's all right. Fairfax won't be here till past.
There's been another death.
What?
Suicide. They found him this morning.
Well, was he on the active vaccine too?
I don't know. They're still trying to get an ID. If he was, we could be responsible for 2 deaths.
Dr. Fairfax, this is Dr. Bliss.
Good to meet you at last.
Thank you.
Of course you know Melanie. I understand you at UCL together.
Hello. It's been a long time.
Coffee, everyone?
Splendid.
Thanks, Mary.
Right, well, where would you like to start?
I think it has to be the malaria trial, don't you? We need a strategy to deal with the Helen Morris business. I'd like to propose a complete press blackout. No interviews, no comments, all inquiries through my office. If the press links Helen Morris's death with the Institute, the whole trial could be under threat.
We don't even know if there's a connection yet.
And we don't want the press making one for us. I'm going to need a full briefing on the animal trials. I'm not facing the ethics committee without all the facts at my fingertips.
The ethics committee? Why are they involved?
It's only a matter of time. Now, how quickly can you contact the volunteers? Do you have computerized records?
Yes, of course. In my office. Go through.
Dr. Kilpatrick. Charles. Yes, he told me.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, I've got that. They got an ID? Yeah, hang on a sec.
Date the trial started, whether on the vaccine or placebo, side effects and so on. If you enter the name in the left field, for example...
Fellows. It's all Fellows.
Fellows. Saul.
Impressive. Date trial started 3rd. Dosage active vaccine side effects none. Let's just hope it stays that way.
The toxicity trial was originally presented to this committee for approval by Professor George McCracken.
That's right. He was the previous head of the Institute.
And in your opinion, the subsequent animal trials were carried out satisfactorily?
From the records I've examined, the work was exemplary.
I see here some of the animals did suffer side effects.
There were a few on the rhesus monkey trials, yes, but they were minimal.
Nausea, skin rashes, dizzy spells? They don't sound very minimal to me.
They were well within conventional tolerances.
Oh, that may be. But it still leaves us with Helen Morris.
The cause of death has yet to be officially established.
Are you saying the vaccine is in the clear?
No, I'm saying that it's bad science to jump to conclusions. If you understood the first thing about drug trial protocols, you'd realize...
As a lay member of the ethics committee, Dr. Bliss, I'm not expected to understand protocols. I am expected to apply common sense. And common sense tells me you're on thin ice. Very thin ice.
If I could take a wider perspective, obviously we're all very worried about possible side effects. But if we choose to go public now, before the full facts are known, it could backfire. The press would like nothing more than another health scare. And it wouldn't just be us they're after. Every single trial in the university would be in their sights. Can we really risk that?
Hi, Mary.
Morning. How did it go?
A bunch of arrogant, scientifically illiterate amateurs.
What are they going to do?
Well, they wanted to close us down. Graham managed to stall them.
Well, he always was good with committees.
How you managed to put up with him for 3 years, God knows.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, come on, Mel.
He happens to be a very talented and able scientist.
He also happens to be very smug and very self-satisfied.
We should have a lot in common.
Pardon?
So, how did he take Saul's death? Does he think there's a connection?
I don't know.
You didn't tell him, did you?
You just blurted it out to the ethics committee.
didn't tell him?
Mel, they would have had us closed down by this afternoon.
What, you think they're not going to find out? I mean, it's not the sort of thing you can hide forever.
Well, not forever, but hopefully long enough to prove it's got nothing to do with the vaccine.
Well, this isn't going to help. It's the test result on Saul's blood sample. No opiates, no amphetamines, no cocaine. He wasn't on anything apart from the vaccine. I think we should tell Graham now.
Hang on, what's this spike on the left? Isn't that lithium?
Could be.
What's lithium used for?
Depression, manic depression.
Might just explain why he hung himself from a bell rope.
Can't remember him, to be honest. Half the students I don't see from one term to the next.
There's nothing here.
No?
Well, what about the records from the local GP?
Well, we wouldn't request them, unless he came in with a problem. What were you after?
Lithium prescription. We thought perhaps Saul was being treated for clinical depression.
No way.
I thought you couldn't remember him.
Oh, exactly. Well, I would if he was on lithium. Well, the levels have to be checked every month. He'd have been in for regular blood tests.
Well, he must have got it from somewhere.
Not here.
What if he didn't get his levels checked?
Overdo it and you get diarrhea, vomiting, maybe confusion.
And too little.
Back to the original symptoms. Either manic or depressed.
If Saul had a history of depression, it lets us off the hook. His suicide had nothing to do with the vaccine. Graham would be pleased. He only wants what's best for the lab.
And if that meant sacrificing the whole malaria project, he wouldn't hesitate.
So you're still not going to tell him about Saul?
I can't risk it.
Why don't you trust him?
I do. Further his own interests.
I'm not telling him. It's only going to make things worse. When he does find out, he'll be furious.
I can handle that.
Well, I can't. Fed up with being a pig in the middle.
You see you as a pig, no?
I'm serious. Either you tell him or I do.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell him.
Your name is Geoffrey Croft?
Yes.
And you're a student of the university?
Yeah.
You knew the deceased for some time?
Helen and I were... we'd been going out.
And when was the last time you saw her?
Professor Feedler's party. We'd gone there together, but then she... Sorry. We had a row and I left. I didn't see her again.
How would you describe her state of mind at that time?
It was my fault. All of it. If I hadn't...
Would you like to take a break, Mr. Croft?
She discovered I'd been going out with someone else. Then at the party, she said I'd never see her again.
Are you
sure we're doing the right thing.
It's what she would have wanted. You know that.
When a body's been immersed in water for any period, it's difficult to give a precise time of death. But I'd say she'd been there for about 5 hours, putting it at around 7 or 8 that evening.
Which would have been just after she left the party.
I believe so.
You mentioned she had a high level of alcohol in her bloodstream. Enough to cause difficulties for me?
Absolutely.
Could that have been exacerbated by drugs?
Yes, but examination of the syringe found by the body revealed no trace of drugs, and she didn't drown. There was some water in the lungs, but not enough to cause death. Further investigation revealed frothed blood in the right ventricle, leading to lack of oxygen in the lungs and brain.
Have you established a cause of death?
Cardiac arrest brought on by a vasovagal attack. I believe Helen Morris injected herself with a syringe of air. In effect, she gave herself a heart attack.
She committed suicide?
The evidence points that way, yes.
You still want to tell Fairfax? 2 suicides, 2 active doses of the vaccine. What conclusions are you going to come to?
You don't really believe there's a connection?
I don't know what to think anymore. No, I suppose I do. Maybe there was a pact between them.
I don't even know if they knew each other.
Sam. Frank. Thought it was you. Terrible business. Very sad.
How are you feeling?
Not bad.
Oh, I don't think you know Dr. Kilpatrick, my lab colleague. Frank Feedler, Edison College.
I'm a great admirer of your work on Alzheimer's.
Helen was on the team. One of the best students. Super bright.
Did you know her well?
I was her supervisor for 3 years.
You don't know if she knew a Saul Fellows, do you?
Saul Fellows. Doesn't ring a bell. But then she knew a lot of people. I mean... I'm sorry. I still can't believe she'd do it. Still, there's no art to find the mind's construction in the face, eh? You must be the new slave.
Frank used to work in the lab.
You've heard about the Bliss black hole, of course.
No, tell me.
Well, it's this big void in the middle of Sam's lab. You can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it, but you know it's there, and then one day, all your projects disappear, and you find yourself working on his ideas more than your own. Rumor has it there are whole lab assistants trapped down there, so be warned.
All right.
Just dying. Remember, get out while you can.
Doesn't the University Records Office have a central database?
Are you changing the subject?
I just thought there might be a connection between Helen and Saul.
Trying to get me interested in one of your ideas.
You don't want to believe everything Frank Feedler tells you.
Beware, Sam, Bliss. I'm on to you.
Suicide.
Okay, you check Saul, I'll do Helen.
Right. Department, Modern Languages.
No, Helen was in neuroscience.
First year tutors, Griffin Roberts, Jeffries.
No.
College, Thomas More.
St. John's?
Societies. Debating early music, Russian.
Salsa, skiing, film.
They make an interesting couple.
Schools, North American International School, London.
Salford Grammar School. Maybe they just met at a party.
Annual medieval music consults a get-together in Memoriam.
Wait a second. First year rooms. Look who Saul shared with.
Jeff Croft.
Well, you must know them both.
Now, in this Alzheimer's patient, the neurons have become disorganized here and here. The symptoms, of course, include loss of short-term memory, being able to remember what happened 20 years ago, but not what was for breakfast this morning. Now, is this damage preventing the memories from being stored or stopping access to them? Is the hard disk itself corrupted or simply the software that drives it? And how does it compare in the opposite condition? Thank you. Ian Black suffered a stroke It left him with a 30-second memory. Literally every 30 seconds, the world is new to him. Is there anything we can learn by comparing the damage in his brain to that of the Alzheimer's patient? But despite dozens of theories and years of research, we're still no closer to solving Alzheimer's than we were a decade ago. Why? This stuff was invented by a Chinese named Cailun in 105 AD. Almost exactly 1800 years later, in 1903, the Wright brothers flew the first plane. So why did it take nearly 2,000 years for someone to work out the 5 simple folds? Because they couldn't leap outside the metaphors of their time. And that is our challenge with Alzheimer's, to leap beyond our own assumptions. Only then will we achieve the final breakthrough, the 5 simple folds. Thank you.
He's so brilliant, he's so stupid. How many does he smoke a day? He's going to kill himself.
He's dying already. He's got Oates disease.
What?
Small cell carcinoma. Not going to live another spring.
Where's Jeff?
Jeff? Jeff Croft?
Yeah?
I'm Dr. Sam Bliss. This is Dr. Melanie Kilpatrick from the Limbright Institute.
Oh, right, yeah. Hi. Hi.
I understand you were a friend of Saul Fellows. You shared digs with him.
Sure.
Well, he was helping us with our research at the Biomedical Institute. Wondered if you could fill in some background.
Well, I haven't seen him much recently. You know what it's like. You spend your first year making friends, your second getting rid of them.
What about Helen? Did she keep up with him? They did know each other, didn't they?
Could have done. Helen knew everybody.
Did you think he might do it?
Sorry?
Did he mention suicide?
Suicide?
You did know that he killed himself on Wednesday night.
Saul?
Yeah. I mean, did he talk about depression? Mention his treatment?
I've got to go. Sorry. Sorry.
He just happens to share a room with a man who commits suicide, and then he just happens to have a girlfriend who does the same thing. Does that add up?
Could be a coincidence.
Unlikely.
I think we're desperate to avoid the obvious, that it could be the vaccine.
Is that a professional judgment? As if it is, there's no evidence, you know.
How much more evidence do we need? What if it happens again?
Mel, I've spent years developing this vaccine. I'm about to give it up now because of some unfounded scaremongering.
I don't believe this. It's only going to close us down.
You don't think you're overreacting just a little?
Look, if the trial stops now, we can kiss this whole project goodbye.
Yeah, I know what it means, Sam.
Yeah, really? This is 5 years of my life.
And mine.
I know, but...
But what? Well, I don't count. I'm just the assistant, right?
The lab's been sealed, pending a full independent inquiry.
Without my consultation?
Consultation? Doesn't that cut both ways? You deliberately kept me in the dark about Saul Fellows' death.
Yes, because I knew you'd have exactly this sort of knee-jerk reaction.
It's hardly knee-jerk, Sam.
It's not my reaction you need to worry about. The ethics committee wants your head.
Oh, for God's sake! Don't be pathetic.
I put myself on the line for you. And how did you repay me? By being thoughtless and unprofessional. Well, from now on, I play it by the book. You're suspended. On full pay until further notice. You'll have a chance to give your views to the independent inquiry.
Graham! If we stop now, this project will be discredited.
This work can never be repeated. You know that. I'm sorry, but I am not prepared to jeopardize the future of this institute for just one project. Any project. See if you could talk some sense into him, would you?
Sam. Sam, this is crazy.
Yeah, and I suppose you're going to say I told you so.
Come back and talk to him.
Why? He never listens. He just closed the bloody lab down.
He had no alternative.
Meaning?
What did you expect him to do? I'd have done the same in his place.
Mel, we're a team. We can fight this together.
I'm sorry, Sam. Not this time. I'm not going to let you take me down with you.
Sorry.
You all right?
I'm fine.
Haven't said a word for the past 10 minutes. He'll be all right once he's calmed down. Remember?
Of course.
Tea?
It's the third time you've asked in the last hour.
Sorry. Nearly finished.
Almost. Sometimes I can't remember whether I really remember things or just remember the photos of them. Do you ever find that?
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Venice, 1979.
Took me so long to focus, your mother walked off in disgust. Good shot of the gondola, though, isn't it? It's only 7:30.
You should be grateful to have some time off. It's been ages since you took a holiday. Not a proper one.
Hardly a holiday, is it? Suspended on full pay.
Let her get too close to your dad. There is more to life than work.
I know.
Do you? I mean, really. Sometimes it feels as if you're so busy working you don't have time for anything else.
Lou, I really am sorry about your birthday.
It's not that. I mean, taking time for yourself, just to relax. You know, read a book, listen to some music, look at photos.
I don't.
Why not?
Because I do remember. Sometimes I don't think I want to.
Dad, I'm sorry.
Hey.
What would you like to do?
I'd like to be able to clear the vaccine.
So what's stopping you?
Computerized security system. I can't access information, data.
You can be so thick sometimes. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on. I thought it was the whole point of getting this. You do remember your password?
Louise.
Dad.
Well, that's it.
Honestly, Dad, anyone could guess that. Right. There. Now what files do you want downloading?
It wasn't just the job, though I'd taken that as far as I could. I was tired of London.
A man tired of London is a man who relocates to Cambridge.
Something like that. I was spending too much energy on just surviving. Then the Limbright offer came up.
When I wanted to come here, you called the Limbright an obscure, second-rate little outfit dedicated to dead-end research. I think I'm quoting accurately.
Well, I would, wouldn't I?
And now it's transformed into one of the country's leading labs, no doubt.
Absolutely. But only thanks to my committed and brilliant team. Thanks.
Seriously, Graham, what made you resign? I mean, you had the lot. Prestige, world-class facilities, a virtual free hand to write your own research projects. Why give it all up?
A new challenge, I suppose. And the chance to work with someone like Sam. I do appreciate his talents, however maverick they may be. Then, of course, there was you.
I thought we'd agreed not to talk about us.
Sorry. Oh, yes, and then, of course, my divorce came through.
Divorce?
Didn't I tell you about that?
Trust me, it'll be okay.
Did you put that on a room?
I'm in no fit state to drive back.
When did you book it?
Does it matter?
It does to me.
Would you like me to book you one too?
That would be necessary. I'll get a cab.
Mel, this is a bit melodramatic, isn't it?
No, Graham. You took me for granted for 3 years, and I won't let you start again. Could you get me a cab, please?
Mrs. Fellows?
Yes?
You don't know me, I'm Dr. Sam Bliss.
My husband's at the hospital today.
The hospital?
Tuesdays, it's the Royal Free.
I'm not here to see your husband, it's about Saul.
Not more police.
The university.
Oh, I see. You better come in.
Thank you.
I warned George 100 times thought I'd end up like that. I told him. Drugs can't mask the soul.
You knew he was on lithium?
Of course, his father prescribed it. Do sit down.
Right. So he's a doctor?
A surgeon.
And how's he taking it?
He's fine. I'm sorry for George, but if it's your fate, it's your fate, isn't it? Genes, I suppose they'd call it today. I always said he'd end up like his mother.
His mother, but...
Oh, you didn't think I was Saul's... Good grief, no. George and I married later, much later. Saul's mother was very different. A jealous woman, melancholic too, you know, in the way Russians can be. Makes for marvelous literature, but appalling marriages.
Where is she now?
She, found out about George and me. Poor Saul. He discovered the body. He was only 8. She used one of George's syringes.
Oh, did?
No. George never left drugs in the house. So she just took a syringe and pumped herself full of air. Induces a heart attack, apparently.
I just don't buy Helen's suicide.
It's too late, Sam. The case is closed. Signed, sealed, delivered. Verdict, suicide.
What if new evidence emerged?
Well, why would you be interested? All you were worried about was no mention of the vaccine.
Look, were there other fingerprints on the syringe apart from Helen's?
Well, they weren't even hers. She was wearing gloves.
Gloves? You never mentioned that.
Wasn't relevant.
Well, it's pretty unusual to give yourself an injection with gloves on, isn't it?
It's pretty unusual to get drunk, fill your veins with air, and fall into the river. What you getting at, Sam?
I think Saul Fellows killed Helen and then hung himself.
Possible, I suppose, but unlikely.
Why?
No signs of a struggle. Only the one needle mark. She would have had to be unconscious for him to do it that neatly.
Maybe she cooperated. Allowed herself to be killed.
Sam?
Mel.
Mary said you might be here at the hospital.
As you see.
What have you been up to?
Usual wild goose chase. You?
Pretty much the same. Look, about yesterday with Graham, there's something you should know.
Mel, it's okay. I understand.
No, I don't think you do.
Look, it's fine. I'm just glad you're back.
I knew something was wrong. She used to go for a run as I came on duty. When I didn't see her that morning, I thought it was odd. Of course, I had no idea.
Thank you. Well, where do we start?
You take the cupboard. I'll do the boxes.
Feeling fine. No dryness in the mouth. Eyesight, hearing okay. Temperature, normal. Mental state, fed up with pissing in the cold. I am.
I thought you wanted to come out, get some air.
I do. I did. Maybe that's a side effect. Inability to make up my mind. Maybe not.
Come on, just give me a hand.
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Not a single mention of Saul. Anything in there?
Not at all, no.
Last entry was the day before she died. Pick up dry cleaning. Must still be there.
I don't think this is right, you know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. She's only been dead a few days.
No, these albums. No photos of Jeff. This is the man she was so in love with that she committed suicide. Not a single photo. Anything in the diary?
Not that I remember.
Sound like a woman in love to you?
Come on, keep going. You can do it. Grivi, be straight, давай! Come on, Jarvis, row. Grivi, be straight. Be straight, Grivi! Давай, Grivi, be straight.
Jeff?
For God's sake, will you just leave me alone?
Sorry, I can't do that. You see, I think you've been lying.
Piss off.
You weren't going out with Helen Morris, were you?
Of course I bloody was.
Then why lie about it?
It wasn't a lie.
You see, I don't think Helen killed herself. I think she was murdered, and I think you know something about it.
You're deranged.
You understand our problem, though. If you weren't going out, you couldn't have split up. If you didn't split up, she couldn't have been depressed. Which leaves us with the question of why she killed herself.
I don't have to talk to you.
No. You can always talk to the police.
You've got it all wrong.
Well, then help us.
It wasn't really a lie. She was depressed.
But not about you. About what, then? Work? Home?
What difference does it make? She's still dead, isn't she? Just leave it alone.
There was somebody else, wasn't there? Another man? Who was it, Jeff? Who are you protecting?
If I say, you won't tell anybody, right? Just drop it.
We just want the truth.
It was Feedler. Professor Feedler.
All this to protect Frank.
I had to. The guy's only got a few months. Have you any idea how important his work is? He's this close to cracking Alzheimer's. A scandal like that would have finished him. So you took the blame. I don't regret it. I know I did the right thing.
It just seemed easier to lie in court. It wasn't exactly lying. Helen did find out about an affair. Not Jeff's, yours. I didn't think she'd take it so hard. She knew there was no future for us. I mean, I'm not exactly in the future business, am I? Why didn't you say any of this at the inquest? Because I could see the headlines. Prof pokes postdoc. I didn't want my lab closed pending an inquiry. It seemed a harmless way out.
But Helen killed herself because of you.
It's hardly scientific. At most, I was a catalyst. It was just as much Saul Fellow's fault. Saul? You said you didn't know him. I didn't. But somehow he found out I was seeing someone else, and he must have told Helen. I didn't even know that they knew each other. But Helen killed herself because she couldn't cope. It could just as easily have been Jeff, or Mike, or you. And that's that. You want to put her parents through it all again? Fine. Drag it all up, bring it all out into the open. What does that achieve? The truth. The truth. Terrific. So you achieve the truth. What about the rest of us? Think it through, Sam.
It's still mostly speculation.
Speculation? We know that Helen Morris was having an affair with Frank Feedler, not Jeff.
Then she committed suicide in exactly the same way as Saul Fellow's mother.
It has to be more than speculation.
Maybe, but it's not enough.
We've been told nothing but lies.
Which affects nothing.
It affects everything. All our assumptions were completely wrong. The deaths were just some part of a bizarre love triangle between Helen, Frank and Saul. And the vaccine was just a coincidence. It's over, Graham. It's all explained. We're in the clear.
We can't be sure of that.
How much more proof do you need?
Look, why not call in the police? Let them deal with it.
Meanwhile, reopen my lab.
I can't do that.
Why the hell not?
Are you really that naive? The police would be all over us. Life would come to a halt for weeks, possibly months. But that would be nothing compared to what the press would do. They would dig and dig and dig until every single little peccadillo was unearthed, washed down and splashed across the tabloids. And the net result, truth and light and happiness ever after, the university would be a laughingstock. The Limbright would have sponsors dropping out daily, and your precious malaria vaccine would be dead and buried.
You don't believe me?
It's not a matter of what I believe. It's what they believe out there.
Okay, fine. Perhaps you'll believe Frank Feedler. I'll get him to call you.
Sam, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
God, it's Jeff. What happened?
Do you know him?
Yeah, he's a friend.
Just drove straight into a wall. Crazy. Probably pissed.
Multiple fractures, head injuries, suspected internal bleeding.
Bike.
When isn't it?
What's his name?
Croft. Jeff Croft.
Were you involved?
No, I just know him. I'm Dr. Bliss.
Know any details? Blood group, allergies, medication?
He could be on medication.
Well, is he or isn't he?
Well, I'd have to check.
Can you ring it through?
There it is, in blue and white. Jeff was on the placebo. I knew it. I knew this had nothing to do with us.
I'll call Graham.
Yeah, he's probably out.
Doubt it.
Eligible bachelor like him. Not likely to be in on his own on a Saturday night, is he?
He might.
Come on. Let's have a drink.
You don't want him to know, do you? You want him to worry for another night.
Is that my champagne?
Yeah. I'll buy you another one.
Okay.
Louise Bliss, you're a hard woman. Hey, look at you. Terrific.
Oh, what, are you going to let her wear that?
Why not? Suits her, doesn't it?
Dad, you never let me go out like that, not for years. Yeah, probably didn't look as good on you. Well, tenderly.
Lou, it's one of the burdens of being the oldest. You fight the battles, and others get the prizes.
Yeah, well, it's not fair. What are we celebrating anyway?
The scientist's right to pursue the truth, actually.
Here. Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Encouraging, I grant you, but that's all. Anyway, let's take a look.
It also means that Jeff's crash has nothing to do with us.
There's still Helen Morris and Saul Fellows, both of whom were on the active vaccine.
I know that. But they're also connected to Feedler. Helen and Jeff are in the same department. And they knew Saul in the first year.
It's not enough.
It's too much of a coincidence. We're also obsessed with this vaccine. We've been looking at it the wrong way.
What? I don't believe this.
I want the place resealed.
Yes, sir.
No admittance without my written instructions. Okay.
Understood.
Graham, it was on the computer last night.
Somebody must have changed it. Someone else did get in.
Into the computer?
Yeah, I checked the remote access log. It was my number when Louise rang in for me, and then somebody else logged on.
Do you know who?
No. The number unavailable. Whoever it was, you had to get into the database then.
To point the finger at us, at the vaccine.
Exactly. Yeah? Yeah, it is. Oh, right, thanks for phoning. Yeah, we'll be straight there. Hospital. Jeff's come round.
Right.
It's a miracle he's conscious at all. The brain scan shows huge areas of damage, but also an unusual amount of activity in the hippocampus. Very odd.
Has he said anything?
Nothing, though he seems able to hear us.
Hello, Jeff. Hi. Can you remember what happened, Jeff? The accident. It's okay. Thank you. Right. Try writing on this. Okay? Camera. In bike. Camera in bike.
Sorry, sir. I can't release personal possessions to anyone except relatives.
Yes, I do understand, but this really is important.
Sorry.
But the camera was on the bike.
Oh, yes, Sony High 8.
You've seen it?
Someone else came in earlier, claimed it was his. I told him the same thing. I can't release personal possessions to anyone except relatives.
Did he leave a name? Say who he was?
A friend, apparently. Young bloke, scruffy, about 5'11", blonde hair.
Jarvis.
Sergeant, would it be possible to just have a look at it?
Go on, then.
That's Saul Fellows, I think.
What the hell are they doing?
I don't know.
Helen, you okay?
No problem. I'm saying no problem.
She's speaking some foreign language. What's going on?
Some sort of memory transfer?
From Saul.
I don't know.
You okay, Jeff?
But I do recognize that lab.
I just can't imagine it working. The risks are enormous.
But in theory it could be done. I mean, they could have recorded Saul's ability to speak Russian.
It's stretching things. Plus, they'd have to locate the area of the brain where the language is stored.
Could they do that with a scanner?
It'd take some doing. And even if they managed it, they'd still have to stimulate the neurons to fire and record the rate and order of each one, hundreds of thousands of them, possibly millions. It's a massive amount of data.
Which they could then play back in somebody else's brain.
We're still years away from that.
But we saw Helen on the video. I mean, she didn't speak Russian before, did she?
Not as far as I know.
How about Jeff?
I've no idea.
Is it possible that they transferred some things they didn't want?
Well, there'd be a certain amount of noise, I suppose. It should be difficult to filter out.
So they didn't just get the memory of language?
Now, Helen had the identical emotional reaction as Saul's mother when she felt betrayed. She killed herself in exactly the same way by injecting herself full of air.
My God.
But what about Saul? He didn't receive anyone's memories.
No, that's not why he killed himself. Remember the note, the words infection, pollution. He obviously felt responsible for Helen's reaction.
This couldn't really happen, could it?
Well, it's never been done before, but I suppose in theory.
What would happen if someone had two sets of memories at the same time?
It's difficult to say. I suppose there's a risk they might start to interfere with each other. I mean, it could play havoc with everything you thought you knew.
Maybe that's what happened to Jeff. Could he have forgotten how to ride his motorbike?
It's possible. Motor skills are a form of memory. They may have been stupid, but it's not illegal to experiment on yourself. I mean, scientists have been doing it for generations.
Jarvis wanted the camera. I think possibly he was going to be next. Could he be in the lab right now?
No, not on Sunday. The whole block is closed.
What if he's done it already?
We need to find him.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
Sorry, I'm looking for Jarvis Wood. Is he here?
Was. It's supposed to be. I mean, 8's not an 8 with 7, is it?
Could you tell us where he is?
He left about 40 minutes ago.
Where did he go?
Called away to work. Lab, I think.
Right. Thanks.
Thanks.
Jarvis? Jarvis! Jarvis, has it started? Has it started?
I wouldn't do that, Sam. Remove those now. God knows what damage you'll do.
Don't try to interfere.
You were here with the others, weren't you?
Stand by for phase 1.
Jarvis? Jarvis, how do I stop this thing?
It's all right. I know what I'm doing.
After what happened to Helen?
That was just bad luck. We had an interference problem. She got some memory she shouldn't have. It's solved now.
What about Jeff?
He's fine.
No, he's not. He's in intensive care. He's lucky to be alive.
Don't listen to him.
Saul's memories killed Helen and nearly did the same for Jeff. Is that what you want?
But we're not transferring Saul's data. That was just a trial run. I'm getting Professor Feedler's memories, not Saul's.
What? Frank, what the hell are you doing?
Once I've got his memories, the work can continue. It's why we all did it.
There could still be interference.
Bliss 2, stand by.
Hang on. This range is higher than in the videos. 370.
That's not possible.
Jarvis, what does this do?
It can't be. That'd be enough to...
Wipe out memories, is that it? It's going to make a blank slate.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
I have no choice. Do you think I'd do it if I had?
Without his memories, he'll cease to exist. He won't be him anymore. It's murder, Frank.
Three of us. Think of what we can achieve together.
Jarvis, how do I stop this? Come on, tell me.
Computer, behind you.
Right. What do I key in?
/9 7.
Come on, Jarvis. Come on, what's next? Jarvis, stay awake, come on. Jarvis, what's next?
What is it?
Come on, Jarvis.
What's the code? Remember, Jarvis,
Come on, wake up.
please.
Come on, stay awake. What are the numbers?
3, 9, and F. It's the only way I could be sure that the work would continue.
At what cost, Frank?
Who can put a price on knowledge?
Helen had her whole life in front of her.
She knew the risks.
She didn't think it would kill her.
I had no idea that Saul knew about my affair. If I had, I would never have chosen Helen for the first transfer.
You can't play with people's lives like that.
I was that close to cracking Alzheimer's. And then to be told I only had a couple of months. I couldn't just sit back.
You had a brilliant team. The work would have continued anyway.
Do you know how often a mind like mine comes along? A couple every generation. I had a duty to find the 5 folds.
You've still got time, you know.
Oh, don't be a fool, Sam. You know as well as I do. The committee will take over. This place will be shut down. My work discredited. It's over. It's all over.
Come on. Let's get you home.
Okay. Just give me a couple of minutes to have a last look round.
Sure.
Would it have been worth it?
To crack Alzheimer's? Well, it affects millions.
So he really was that close?
Yeah, no question. I don't know, maybe every breakthrough has its own time. Maybe there's a good reason why it took 2,000 years to find the 5 folds.
If you believe that, you'd be in a different profession.
Maybe.
Morning.
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 It's good to have you back. I'm not going to apologize for what I did, Sam. I acted in the interests of the Institute. It's my job. No hard feelings.
Right, we need to contact all the volunteers and postpone their follow-up appointments.
You want to do that direct, or we'll go through the GP?
Both.
Sam, about Graham.
Yeah, I know, he was only doing his job.
No, it's something else. There's a history. Graham and I were lovers.
Yeah.
You knew?
I thought that there was something.
How?
I don't know. Little things. The way you avoided eye contact. Kept the regulation 2 feet apart. And of course you sprang to his defense every 5 minutes.
It was all over a long time ago.
Right.
I'm sorry, I should have told you earlier.
No, it's okay.
I suppose I was embarrassed.
Mel, whatever happened, happened. It doesn't change anything.
Promise?